Good morning, everybody. Today is day 3 of reading for 30 minutes a day. Here's proof. Well, my phone's charging, but it's 9:45 a.m. Oh, what day is it today? May 10th. So we're just gonna get straight into it. Oh, and this time I have me some water. So my throat isn't killing me this time, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Stud City by Gordon LaChance, originally published in Greenspin Quarterly issue 45 fall 1970, issued by or used by permission. March. Shiko stands at the window, arms crossed, elbows on the ledge that divides upper and lower pans, naked, looking out, breath fogging the glass. A draft against his belly. Bottom right pan is gone, blocked by a piece of cardboard. Shiko. He doesn't turn. She doesn't speak again. He can see a ghost of her in the glass in his bed, sitting blankets pulled up in apparent defiance of gravity. Her eye makeup has smeared into deep hollows under her eyes. Shiko shifts his gaze beyond her ghost, out beyond the house. Raining. Patches of snow sloughed away to reveal the bald ground underneath. He sees last year's dead grass, a plastic toy. Billy's a rusty rake. His brother Johnny's Dodge is up on blocks, the detired wheels sticking out like stumps. He remembers times he and Johnny worked on it, listening to super hits and boss oldies from Willam and Lewiston pour out of Johnny's old transistor radio. A couple of times Johnny would give him beer. She gonna run fast, Chico, Johnny would say. She gonna eat up everything on this road from Gates Falls to Castle Rock. Wait till we get the Hearest shifter in her. But that had been then, and this was now. Beyond Johnny's Dodge was the highway. Route 14 goes to Portland and New Hampshire south, all the way to Canada north if you've turned left on US 1 at Thomaston. Stud City, Chico says to the glass. He smokes a cigarette. What? Nothing, babe. Chico, her voice is puzzled. He will have to change the sheets before Dad gets back, she bled. What? That's right, Dirty March. You're some old whore, Chico thinks. Dirty, staggering, old, baggy March with rain in her face. This room used to be Johnny's, he said suddenly. Who? My brother. Oh, where is he? In the army, Chico says. But Johnny isn't in the army. He had been working in the summer before Oxford Plains Speedway, and a car went out of control and skidded across the infield toward pit area, where Johnny had been changing the back tires on a Chevy Charger class stalker. Some guy shouted at him to look out, but Johnny never heard them. One of the guys who shouted was Johnny's brother, Chico. Are you cold? She asks. No. Well, my feet are a little. Again, he thinks suddenly, well, my God, nothing happened to Johnny. That isn't going to happen to you, too, sooner or later. He sees it again, though, the skating Ford Mustang, the knobs of his brother's spine peeked out in a series of dimpled shadows against the white of his Hans t-shirt. He had been hunkered down, pulling one of the Chevy's back tires. There had been there had been time to see rubber flaying off the tires of the runway Mustang, to see if hanging mufflers scraped up sparks from the infield. It had struck Johnny even as Johnny tried to get to his feet. Then the yellow shout of flame. Well, Chico thinks. It could have been slow, and he thinks of his grandfather, hospital smells, pretty young nurses bearing bedpans. At last, papery breath. Were there any good ways? He shivers and wonders about God. He touches the small silver St. Christopher's medal that hangs on the chain around his neck. He is not a Catholic, and he's surely not a Mexican. His real name is Edward May, and his friends call him Chico because his hair is black, and he greases it back with Briley creme, and he wears boots with pointed toes and Cuban heels. Not Catholic, but he wears this medallion. Maybe if Johnny had been wearing one, the runway Mustang would have missed him. You never knew. He smokes and stares out the window, and behind him the girls get out of bed and comes to him quickly. Almost mincing, maybe afraid he would turn around and look at her. She puts a warm hand on his back. Her belly touches her. Oh, it is cold. It's this place. You bet, he says offhandedly, and then more mysteriously, you were Cherry. What does that? The hand reaches higher. The finger traces the skin on the nape of the neck. I didn't say, didn't I? Was it hard? Did it hurt? She laughs. No, but I was scared. They watch the rain. A new Oldsmobile goes by on a 14 spraying up the water. Stud City, Chico says. What? That guy, he goes to Stud City in his new stud car. She kisses the place her her finger had been touching gently and brushes at her as if she were a fly. What's the matter? He turns to her. Her eyes flick down to his and then pick up again hastily. Her arms twitch to cover herself, and then she remembers that they do stuff like that in the movies and drops them to the sides again. Her hair is black and her skin is winter white, the color of cream. Her belly perhaps a little too soft. One flaw to remind Chico thinks that this isn't the movies. Jane, what? He can feel himself getting ready, not beginning, but getting ready. It's all right, he says. We're friends. He eyes her deliberately, letting him reach at her in all sorts of way. When he looks at her face, it is flushed. Do you mind looking at me? I know. No, Chico. She steps back, closes her eyes, sits on the bed, and leans back, legs. He sees Oliver, the muscles, the little muscles on the insides. Um, okay. We're just gonna continue off of this other page that I'm about to read because I don't want to read this out loud. Open your eyes. We're friends, I said. Obediently, she opens them. He looks at it, and her eyes appear violently now. The rainwater running down the window makes ripple patterns on her face, her neck. Stretched across the bed, her belly was pulled tight. She is perfect in her moment. Okay, I think I'm gonna continue reading from here because it's like not like kind of awkward now. Um, that's your mother and father. It's my father, Chico said. She's my stepmother, Virginia. Come on. Is she still that pretty? Jane asked, picking up her coat and handing Chico his windbreaker. I guess my old man thinks so, Chico says. They stepped out into the shed. It's a damp, drafty place. The wind hoots through cracks in its slapstick walls. There is a pile of old bald tires. Johnny's old bike and Chico inherited when he was 10, and which he prompt wrecked a pile of detective magazines, returnable Pepsi bottles, a greasy monolithic engine block, an orange crate full of paperback boots, an old paint by numbers of a horse standing on dusty green grass. Chico helps her pick her way outside. The rain is falling with disheartening steadiness. Chico old Seaton stands Seddon Seaton I don't know stands in a driveway puddle looking downhearted, even up on a block and with a piece of plastic covering the place where the windshield should go. Johnny's Dodge has more class. Chico's car is a Buick. The paint is dull and flowered with spots of rust. The front seat upholstery had been covered with a brown army blanket. A large button pinned to the sun visor on the passenger side. I want it every day. There is a rusty starter assembled on the back seat. If it ever stops raining, he will clean it, he thinks, and maybe put it into the Dodge, or maybe not. The Buick smells musty, and his own starter grinds a long time before the Buick starts up. Is it your battery? She asks. Just the damn rain, I guess. He backs out onto the road, flicking on the windshield wipers and pausing for a moment to look at the house. It is completely unappetizing aqua or color. The shed sticks off from it at a ragtag, double jointed angle, tar paper, and peeled looking shingles. The radio comes on with a blare, and Chico shuts it off at once. There is the beginning of a Sunday afternoon headache behind his forehead. They ride past the Grange Hall and volunteer fire department and Brownie's store. Sally Morrison's T-Bird is parked by Brownie's high test pump, and Chico raises a hand to her as he turns off onto Old Lewiston Road. Who's that? Sally Morrison, pretty lady, very neutral. He feels for his cigarettes. She'd been married twice and divorced twice. Now she's the town pump, if you believe half the talk that goes on in the little town. She looks young. She is. Have you ever? No, he says, my brother, maybe, but not me. I like Sally though. She's got her alimony and her big white bird. She doesn't care what people say about her. It seems like a long drive. The Androscoggin off to the right is slatty and sullen. What the heck are these words, man? These don't even make sense. Like, the ice is all out of it now. Jane had grown quiet and thoughtful. The only sound is the steady snap of windshield wipers. When the car rolls through the dips in the road, there is ground fog, waiting for evening when it will creep out these pockets and take over to River Road. They cross into Auburn, and Chico drives the cutoff and swings onto Minute Avenue. The four lanes are nearly deserted, and all the suburban homes look packaged. They see one little boy in a yellow plastic raincoat walking up the sidewalk, carefully stepping in the puddles. Go, man, Chica says softly. What? Jane asks. Nothing, babe. Go back to sleep. She laughs a little doubtfully. Chico turns up Keston Street and into the driveway of one of the packaged houses. He turned he turned he doesn't turn off the ignition. Come in and I'll give you cookies, he says. He shakes his head. I have to go back. I know. She puts her arms around him. Thank you for the most wonderful time of my life. He smiles. He smiles suddenly, his face shines. It is nearly magical. I'll see you Monday, Janie Jane. Still fr still friends, right? You know we are, she says. But when he don't, my father might see. He lets her go, only a little of the smile left. She gets out the car quickly and through the rain to runs the rain to the back door. A second later, she's gone. Chico pauses for a moment to light the cigarette, and then he backs out the driveway. The Buick stalls, and starter seems to grind ever before the engine manages to catch. It is a long ride home, but when he gets there, Dad's station wagon is parked in the driveway. He pulls in beside it and lets the engine die. For a moment, he sits inside silence, silently listening to the rain. It's it's like being inside a steel drum. Inside, Billy's watching Carol Stormer, his country, what? Buckaroos on the TV set. When Chico comes in, Billy jumps in, excited. Eddie, hey Eddie, you know what Uncle Pete said? He said to him, he said him and a whole mess of other guys sank a crot sub in the war. Will you take me to the show next Saturday? I don't know, Chico says, grinning. Maybe if you kiss my shoes every night before supper all week. He pulls Billy's hair. Billy hollers and laughs and kicks him in the shins. Cut it out now, Sam May says, coming into the room. Cut it out, you two. You know how your mother feels about the rough housing. He has pulled down his tie. He has pulled his tie down and unbuttoned the top button of his shirt. He got a couple of 3 red hot dogs on a plate. The hot dogs are wrapped in white bread, and Sam May has put the old mustard right to them. Where you been, Eddie? At Jane's. The toilet flushes in the bathroom. Virginia. Chico wonders briefly if Jane had left any hairs in the sink or lipstick or a bobby pin. You should have come with us to see your Uncle Pete and Aunt Anne. Where was I? Eddie, I don't like that. Not while we provide the bed and board. Some bed, Chico says, some board. Sam looks up quickly, fists her Sam looks up quickly, hurt at first, then angry when he speaks. Chico sees that his teeth are yellow with French's mustard. He feels vaguely what? Not nauseated. Your lip, your damn lip. You aren't too big yet. Snot nose. Chico shrugs, peels a slice of Wonder Bread off the loaf standing on the TV tray by his father's chair and spreading it with ketchup. In 3 months, I'm going to be gone anyway. What the hell are you talking about? I'm going to fix up Johnny's car and go out to California, look for work. Oh, yeah, right. He is a big man. Big in shambly way, but Chico thinks now that he got smaller after he married Virginia and smaller again after Johnny died. At his mind, he hears himself saying to Jane, my brother maybe, but not me. And the heels of that play your degree do blue. Holy bro, I don't. Oh my god. Like, what even is this about? You ain't never going to get that car as far as Castle Rock left alone. Let alone California. You don't think so? Just watch my dust. For a moment his father only looks at him, and he throws the franc he has been holding. It hits Chico in the chest, spraying mustard on his sweater and on the chair. Say that word again, and I'll break your nose for you. Chico picks up the franc and looks at it. Cheap, cheap red franc smeared and French mustard spread a little sunshine. He throws it back at the father. Sam gets up, his face the color of his old brick, the vein in the middle of his forehead pulsing. His thighs connects with the TV tray and it overturns. Billy stands in the kitchen doorway watching them. He's got ten he's got he's gotten himself a plate of franks and beans and the plate has tipped and bean juice runs onto the floor. Billy's eyes are wide, his mouth trembling. On the TV, Carol Stormer and County Buckaroos are tearing through Long Black Veil at a breakneck pace. You raise them back. You raise them best you can, and they spit on you, the father says thickly. That's how it goes. He gropes blindly on the seat of his chair and comes up with a half-eaten hot dog. He holds it to his fist like a servant, like a served phallus. Incredibly, he begins to eat it at the same time. Chico sees that he had begun to cry. They spit on you, that's how it goes. Why the hell did you have to marry her? He bursts out, and then he has to bite down on the rest of it. If you hadn't married her, Johnny would still be alive. That's none of your business, Sam May roars through his tears. That's my business. Oh, Chico shouts back. Is that so? I only have to live with her. Me and Billy, we have to live with her. Watch her grind you down, and you don't even know what a father says. And his voice is suddenly low and ominous. The chunk of hot dog left his closed fist in a bloody chunk of bone. What don't I know? You don't know from Shinola, he says, appalled at what has almost come out of his mouth. You want to stop it now, his father says, or I'll beat the hell out of you, Chico. He only calls him when he is very angry indeed. Chico turns and sees Virginia is standing at the other door of the room, adjusting her skirt minutely, looking at him with her large, calm brown eyes. Her eyes are beautiful. The rest of her is not so beautiful, so self-renewing, but those eyes will carry her for years yet, Chico thinks, and he feels the sick hate come back. So we tanned his hide when he died, Clyde, and that's it hanging on the shed. She's got you whipped, and you don't have the guts to do anything about it. All of this shouting has become too much for Billy. He gives a great wail of terror, drops his plate and franks of beans, covers his face with his hands. Bean juice splatters his Sunday shoes and sprays across the rug. Sam takes a single step forward and then stops when Chico makes a curt, beckoning gesture, as if to say, yeah, come on, let's get down to it. What took you so long? They stand like statues until Virginia speaks. Her voice is low, as calm as her brown eyes. Have you had a girl in your room, Ed? You know you know how your father and I feel about that, almost as an afterthought. She left a handkerchief. He stares at her savagely, unable to express the way he feels, the way she is dirty, the way she shoots unerringly in the back, the way she clips in behind you and cuts her hamstrings. You could hurt me if you wanted to, the calm brown eyes, I say. I know you I know you would I know what? I know you know what was going on before he died, because that's the only way he can hurt me, isn't it, Chico? The only and only then, if your father believed you, and if he believed you, it would kill him. His father lungs at the new gambit like a bear. Have you been Watch your language, please, Sam, Virginia says calmly. Oh my god, bro, like this chapter never ends and it doesn't even like make any sense. Is that why you didn't want to come with us so you could say it? Chico weeps. Don't let her do it to you. Say what you mean. Get out, he says dully. Don't you come back until you apologize to your mother and me. Don't you dare, he cries. Don't you dare call me that. My mother. I'll kill you. Stop it, Eddie, Billy screams. The words are muffled, blurred through his eyes, which still cover his face. Stop yelling at Daddy. Stop it, please. Virginia doesn't move from the doorway. Her calm eyes remain on Chico. Sam blunders back a step, and the backs of knees strike the edge of his easy chair. He sits down in it heavily and averts his face against a hairy forearm. I can't even look at you when you got words like that in your mouth, Eddie. You are making me feel so bad. She makes you feel bad. Why don't you admit it? He does not reply. She still looks at Chico. He fumbles another franc wrapped in bread from the plate on the TV tray. He fumbles for the mustard. Billy goes on crying. Carl Stromer and his country buckaroos are singing a truck driving song. My rig is old, but that doesn't mean she's slow. Carl tells all his Western Maine viewers. The boy doesn't know what he's saying, Sam. Virginia says gently. It's hard at his age. It's hard to grow up. She whipped him. That's the end, all right. He turns and head for the door, which lead first into the shed and then outdoors. He opens it and looks back at Virginia and gazes at him tranquilly. When he speaks her name, what is it, Ed? The sheets are bloody. He pauses. I broke her in. He thinks something has stirred in her eyes, but it is probably only his wish. Please go now, Ed. You're scaring Belly. He leaves. The Buick doesn't want to start, and he almost resigned himself to walking in the rain when the engine finally catches. He lights a cigarette and backs out onto 14, slamming the clutch back in and racing the mill when it starts to jerk and splutter. The generator light blinks at him twice, and the car settles into ragged idle. At least he is on his way, creeping into the road towards Gate Falls. He spares Johnny's Dodge one last hug. Johnny could have had steady work at Gates Mills and weaving, but only on the night shift. Night work didn't bother him. He had told Chico and the pay was better than the plains, and their father work days and working nights at the mill would have meant Johnny would have been home with her, home alone or with Chico in the next room. The walls were thin. I couldn't stop, and she won't let me try, Johnny said. Yeah, I know what it could do to him, but she just won't stop, and it's like I can't stop. She's always at me, and you know what I mean? You've seen Billy too young to understand, but you've seen her. Yes, he had seen her. And Johnny had to go work at Plains, tell your father it was because he got the parts for the Dodge on the cheap. And that's how it happened when he had been changing a tire when Mustang came skidding and skating across the infield with its muffler dragging it up Sparks. That's how his stepmother had killed his brother. So just keep playing until I shoot through Blue, 'cause we go in Stud City right here in the Heat Buick, and he remembers how the rubber smelled and how the knobs of Johnny's spine cast small crescent shadows on the bright white of his t-shirt. He remembers oh he remembers how the rubber smelled and how the knobs of Johnny's spine cast smell cast small crescent shadows on the bright white of his t-shirt. He remembers seeing Johnny get halfway up from the squat he had been working in when the Mustang hit him, squashing him between it and the Chevy, and there had been a hollow bang as the Chevy came down off its shacks, and the bright yellow flare of flame, the rich smell of gasoline. Chico strikes the brakes with both feet, bringing the seat into a crunching, juddering halt on the sudden shoulder. He leans wildly across the seat, throws open the passenger door, and sprays yellow puke onto the mud and snow. The sight of it makes him puke again, and the thought of it making him dry heave one more time. The car almost stalls, but he catches it in time. The generator light winks out reluctantly. Ugh. When he guns the engine, he sits letting the shakes work their way out of him. A car goes by fast, a new Ford, white, throwing up dirty fans of water and slush. Stud City, Chico says, in this new stud car, funky. He tastes puke on his lips and his throat and coated his sinuses. He doesn't want a cigarette. Danny Carter will let him sleep over. Tomorrow will be time enough for further decisions. He pulls back onto the Route 14 and gets rolling. Like, okay, so chapter 7, I don't even know. Like, I guess Gordy, this is a short story Gordy wrote. Damn. And mind you, he's 13 writing all of this. Holy moly. That's crazy. Um, yeah, I like cool story, I guess, bro, but holy moly, bro, I had no clue. I mean, I did know what was happening, but like I just dreaded it. I didn't really enjoy reading it. Sorry, Gordy. Yeah, I guess that's I read many pages. So that's it. That's all. We're gonna start chapter 8 tomorrow. Um this is like dreading me. Also, look at hold on. Like look how much we're already in. Like this is how much we've read so far in the past 3 days. I could never have done that on my own time. Just saying. All right, that's it. That's all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.